Hello and welcome to this week's 3WND Newscast. How's it going, guys? All good?
Yeah, good, thanks. How about you?
Yeah,
Another lovely
I'm
week in
well.
Germany.
Yeah, everything in Germany is all good.
Excellent. Rob, you enjoy me back at work now?
Well, no, obviously not.
Excellent.
Who would enjoy being back at work?
Good answer.
Footballers?
Possibly, yeah.
Exactly.
Good
Yeah.
answer. That's the only one.
I couldn't think of anything else. All right. Shall we kick on with
Right,
this week?
let's do it. And I guess the natural starting place for us is Corona, COVID-19. So we've seen
Yeah.
over the last week since the last podcast, numbers continue to rise, and apparently millions of people across the globe are now back on lockdown. Don't know if that means a second wave could come to the UK and Germany. We'll see.
I'm assuming it's going to be more of the countries that are not taking it seriously, like Brazil and America have been. They've been pretty jokey about it, to be honest, to start with. The death tolls have been rising in America quite heavily still, am I right?
60 plus thousand new cases a day, but
That's
they're a big
crazy.
country as well.
That's true, but I don't
So
think
the
how they
funniest
could.
story I think I've read this week comes from the US, and that's about the guy a 30-year-old man who believed coronavirus was a hoax, attended one of these stupid COVID parties, and he actually died after getting infected. Crazy.
I mean,
Ironic.
I wouldn't say it's the funniest story this week. It's definitely morbid, but yeah, it's ironic more than anything, isn't it?
No, it's just like he thought it was a hoax, right?
I wonder what they do at that party. Are they just kissing everybody and coughing in each other's face? And I mean,
Yeah, what is it? What is it? Is it normal
It's true,
party,
actually.
or are they trying to prove it doesn't exist by being overly?
It's a
I
really
don't
good
know.
question. I don't know.
yeah, I
Like,
think it was just a bunch of people that thought it was blown out of proportion, and they thought, "Oh, fuck this, let's have a party." And one guy was basically on his deathbed when he said, "It's well, don't be like me. Take it seriously, because I'm about to die." And he did. So a bit of a
the
plonker.
sad thing is, people still won't take that seriously, even now.
No.
Even with people like that, especially in America, a lot of them are they're still doing whatever they want, and they thought the 4th of July festivities was gonna be like and bring on an extra wave of it, and obviously we probably haven't seen the most of that yet because they're not even 2 weeks in after that event. Obviously all that happening is going to have a knock-on effect with all the people that were going out celebrating, and that could increase the death tolls even further in America.
I think
Pretty bad place to go.
according to 50% of America, they have like immunity to the virus because they are American.
Oh,
all of
crazy.
them go into the stores, go, "I'm American. I'm sorry, I thought this was America."
Like the weird thing of seeing Donald Trump wearing a mask now, like after how much he downplayed it to how he's now like, shit, I need to start trying to show
Surely that must
an
be like
example.
alarm bells in the
You,
American's mind. When Trump's wearing a mask, you know shit's getting bad, right?
I'd say so
But
personally.
I also read something about in Alabama, there's a report where students were having games, so who could get infected first, and they put the money in a pot, and whoever got
What?
infected first won all the money and stuff. So they literally tried to get infected to get cash.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
He's a
That would have
special
been an
type of
ironic
people.
death one.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
so
crazy.
what's the latest in the UK then? What's been going on?
We're taking it more seriously as it starts to die down, which is the way things
That's true.
are done.
Yes, we've got to wear masks in shops and supermarkets from, I believe, the 24th of this month. It's one of them weird things. It's like, why do they then give you like 2 weeks till they then implement something? You should think, right, we need this, right? Let's do it now. But they did that with the public transport. They did that way too late. It was one of the last things they could do.
I've got an announcement, by the way.
Go on.
I've worn a mask for the first time.
Oh my God. This is big news. How did you feel? Was you claustrophobic? Could you handle it?
It was great. The reason I wore it is because
Great.
I I went to my tattooist. I was the first person in the tattooist back.
Ah, cool.
Did you get another tattoo?
Yeah. So
What's
I
this
had
of?
one booked a long time ago, I think in April, and then everything shut down. So I was literally the first person to get tattooed when they reopened. So
Where's this one?
You mean the location of the tattoo?
Correct.
It's down my spine.
Ooh.
And it was really quick. I was surprised how quick it was. But when I
What
got
was
there, they kind of stuck a temperature gun to my head, like as if they were about to execute
that's basic
me.
policy. We have one in our HR room if you're feeling unwell. They have one of them now on there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then they gave me a black mask, which was quite a nice looking mask. It was not like one of those ones that look like Y-front pants on your face. So
pretty sexy is what you're saying.
Yeah, I thought I looked good. So I was rolling in that tattoo. It's looking shit hot. And yeah, got a tattoo done.
Two questions, Rob. One, what is the tattoo of? And B, will you be buying yourself, a nice sexy mask to go as a bit of, and just something new for your attire?
Well, the first question is it's just text down my spine. So I've got like wings on my back already and tattoos at the bottom. And now I just got text running down my spine, which is a Latin phrase, which says memento mori, which is a phrase. It sounds a bit dark. It's not meant to be, but it's basically a phrase to mean that the only thing in life that is guaranteed is our death. So make the most of it.
So beautiful.
And live it to the fullest.
I mean, I'm half annoyed you didn't say you got yourself a free WMB tattoo,
Yeah,
Well,
Rob, what the hell?
There's always time.
There is always time. You're running out of parts of your body to put it on, but we'll find somewhere.
And I also want a furlough one as well. Like, I love furlough somewhere. Furlough for life.
Half answer my other question, I have been looking at like masks because I need to stock up on a couple to keep in my car or whatever. So I've been looking for jazzy ones and stuff, but I haven't got any yet. But maybe next week I'll give you an update and let you know.
I saw on boohoo.com they do black masks with like skull mouths, like
But we don't like Boohoo. They're bad, no? They have sweatshops in Leicester.
Oh yeah, they've been a bit naughty. Yeah.
So you don't want to buy from Boohoo, man.
God, Rob, I hope you didn't buy it there and then.
I didn't know.
We don't want to be given breaking news that you support slavery. That is not the breaking news we're going for.
Well, controversy sells.
That's true. I love how it's gone from a Corona update to Rob supporting slavery.
You know it. We always know it. But it's good to hear you're embracing masks. I've been wearing masks here in Germany since like April. So it's so like normal for me now. The fact you guys are just buying them, it's pretty insane. It's taken so long.
I mean, I have one for the train, but I want a cooler one.
On the same day, I wore one in Primark as well, and I got to admit, like, if you need one in tattooist, you definitely need one in Primark. That is a hellhole in there. Watford Primark is like every day just packed wall to wall. Yeah, it is a sweatshop in there.
Yeah.
How about guys? Crazy thing. Get our own personalized free WMD face masks.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do some swag.
Exactly. We can advertise as we keep ourselves safe.
I'm up for that.
I'm definitely going to be researching this in the week. It's all about the brand, right?
I guess so. I can't promise anything right now, but let's just say yes.
You'll wear it and you'll love it.
I'll just nod and agree.
Okay. Shall we move on from the Corona?
Yep. So that's the Corona update. I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week. So our next story is, I think it's come from today actually, or yesterday. It's I can't pronounce the name, so I'm sorry, but Shamima Begum. It's a long-running story in the UK, and it's come back up today. So here's a little bit of background. Shamima Begum she was born in the UK. Her parents are of Bangladeshi, I believe, background. Mm-hmm. And she and two other schoolgirls, when they were 15, left the UK to join ISIS. So they traveled via Turkey to Raqqa. And then she married an ISIS fighter. And then a couple of years later, she was found to be living in a refugee camp. I think her husband, who she was married off to, was killed. She was pregnant when they found her, but the baby died. She lost 2 babies previous to that. So a pretty crazy story. She lived under ISIS rule for 3 years. So when she got found, she wanted to come back to the UK, but the UK said nope, and they stripped her of her British passport. And since then, she's been living in a refugee camp in North Syria, I believe, or something like that. But
Sounds lovely.
it does. But now, apparently, the Court of Appeals says she can return to the UK to fight for her citizenship. So what do you guys think? Should she be allowed to come back?
It's a dicey subject.
She left. So why will it give her the right to come back? She left and she wanted to kill us all.
Yeah, it's a very dicey subject. Rob, I believe you have a poll going on this currently.
Yes. I'm not surprised by the current results, but at the moment it's standing at 79% of people do not believe she should be let back.
Interesting. Now, I think I voted saying she shouldn't be allowed back, but on the flip side, she was only 15 when this happened, correct?
Yeah.
Now there is an argument to say that, she could have been brainwashed at such a young age. They're vulnerable to such things. And now she's grown up a bit and realized what the hell was going on. She's realized she made a horrible mistake. She obviously, the flip side of that again is that, well, she was part of a regime that wanted to kill us all. So she shouldn't be allowed back in this country. But could it be down to a young mistake, a very bad mistake? I don't know.
Do you guys think if she was a white woman, British born and bred, and she converted and did that, people would be more tolerant and more forgiving?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I mean, I'd like to think it would be no different, but I would say it's probably be slightly more relaxed on that front, if I'm honest.
Because I was like,
yeah, sadly.
I was like, oh, definitely no. And then I found out she was 15, and actually discussed this with 2 of my best mates who are both Muslim. And I'm like, nah, fuck that, don't let her back in there. One of them's Bengali as well, so it's a same country as her. But yeah, I think the general population would agree not to let her back in. I mean, she fucked up, but yeah, 15 years old.
That's the thing. It's the age. If she was 25 and done this, I would have been like, fuck that. No, but she was 15. She was a kid. Like, kids make some stupid mistakes. But I don't condone it. So it's a tricky one. I definitely feel she has a case to put against it, but I mean, I don't. It could go either way in my books. I don't know. What do you think?
I guess we're just going to have to trust the UK authorities to make the right decision. I mean, for her sake, I wouldn't want to come back to the UK because she's going to be, she's going to get a new identity, but I'm sure people are going to be like, if they find out who she is.
If she survives the first year, everyone's going to forget all about it, and that'll be that, essentially. People are very fickle. They'll only care while it's a hot topic. As soon as something bigger comes along, they will forget all about it. That's just how it works, isn't it?
I mean, I did forget all about it.
I had also forgot all about this, yes.
Yeah, so what her legal basis for this is in theory, she's now stateless, so she doesn't belong to anywhere, which exposes her to a risk of death, inhumane treatment, a lot of bad shit, because she doesn't really have anywhere to live and stay. And so the Court of Appeal says she needs to be allowed in the UK to at least state her case. And under international law, it's only legal to revoke someone's citizenship if that individual is entitled to citizenship of another country, which she isn't because ISIS doesn't rule Syria, etc. So I think legally, actually, the UK are doing it wrong or are not doing it correct.
That sounds right. We always do something so well here. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a big subject. I'm assuming next week we'll probably have another story on this because this is going to run for a while.
Yeah, it's only going on for years, isn't it? It's pretty crazy stuff. So
Let's just hope she's not another one that was on the watch list that got a way of doing something terrible.
Yeah, because imagine that would backfire hard.
Yeah.
Now, what she obviously they are not going to pay for her to get back in the country. Is how is she going to get back here to do this?
It's a good point.
And surely they're going to be playing delaying tactics for as long as they can, because as long as they can delay this, she's going to be in the country.
Yeah, that's very true.
So it's interesting, but
The legal system here is totally fucked.
It's going to be a hot topic for a while, I'm sure. Although saying that, I thought the Madeleine McCann story was going to run, and that just died a complete death.
So I read a little bit about German prosecutors are not going to do anything, and even the guy supposedly could be out of jail in the next few months.
That just died, didn't it? Like,
I think the German authorities are not keen to push it. They just believe he did it, and they believe he's done his time.
I think they know he done it, but they haven't got sufficient evidence to prove it, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So right, now we've said that'll be the big news next week. But
I know what the McCanns are thinking, right? Yeah.
It's more fuel on the
crazy.
fire for the fact that it's just there to divert attention.
yeah, that's crazy. But we'll soon see what's going on with that, right?
We will. So another crazy story from this week, which really gives us some ability to debate some stuff, is the suicide of Boxster on Facebook Live. So a guy called Jonathan Baz Bailey, who's 50, announced on Facebook, "I'm going to hang myself today." He then followed through on that threat live on Facebook. Over 400 people were watching
Oh God!
him kill himself.
How did he kill himself?
So hung.
Oh God!
And he's a
That
mental
isn't-
health campaigner as well, which is pretty crazy.
Oh, didn't
Do
know
you reckon he
that.
was campaigning because he had previous mental health issues? Or?
Well, so on the article, there's one section that's quite interesting. It's got some stats. So every 90 minutes in the UK, a life is lost to suicide.
Crazy.
It's the biggest killer of people under the age of 35, which means it's more deadly than cancer and car crashes. And men are 3 times more likely to take their own life than women. I haven't searched, backed up these stats. I'm not sure if they're 100% correct, but they sound like it could be. It's pretty crazy.
I've
stuff.
definitely heard stats like that in the past. Very similar.
Exactly.
So.
I don't know why men are more likely to do that.
Yeah,
do you reckon it's because women have more of a culture of sharing than men do, like bottling it up?
I like it. That could be why.
That's a big suggestion. That's a talking point a lot of people seem to make comparisons to. Also, just pressure sometimes. I think like culture kind of still. It kind of has a stigma that men should be the breadwinners and support families, and
yeah,
yeah.
Like men just don't want to seem weak. They don't want to talk about their feelings and et cetera, et cetera. It's a hard life sometimes being a man, you know.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is,
and it's tough because you don't know. You can't compare your own mind to someone else's, so you know how often is having suicidal thoughts or being depressed. How do you know that you're on a level that is kind of in the normal range, and how do you know that you're in trouble?
Yeah, exactly. And it's pretty crazy that he's allowed to do this on Facebook, right? So on Facebook Live, so people can literally watch someone die. It's really crazy.
It's pretty fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of bad shit's gone on Facebook Live and similar things.
Do you reckon social media is part of the blame for this, or as in like not necessarily like obviously it being live, but do you reckon people being more depressed, is that a lot of it down to social media?
There's a quote by Jim Carrey that I think, in my eyes, sums it up quite well, and I've got it here actually. He says, "Society is collapsing, and people are starting to recognise that the reason they feel like they're mentally ill is that they're living in a system that's not designed to suit the human spirit." And I kind of have to agree with him on that. I think there's a lot that is part of normal structured life now that is not really helping people's mental health. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not big on social media. Obviously, I have it. But it's not. If some people get obsessed with it, obviously, I'm not one of them ones. But people get obsessed with it, and life revolves around it. They'd rather like stay in and talk to people on Facebook than actually go out and have a conversation, have a drink, go for a walk with them. It's unhealthy.
It's almost impossible to stay away from bad news throughout a day.
Oh God, that's the only thing that people thrive on. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even good news, you go in the comments, people are just digging at it's like, but they've done something good and you're digging at them. Like, what the fuck do you want out of people? But that's never going to change, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think there's two sides of social media. There's one where it allows you to share information, which I think is great and it helps the world. But I do think it's had a more negative effect on the world and on people's mental health. And you see stories of people being trolled online, bullied online, feeling bad, and then committing suicide on social media.
And people
yet social media can't manage it. There's too many users, too much data, they just milk it for money.
Billions of people using it. You know what I mean? Like, you just need a few bad eggs on your social medias. Obviously, you should probably all just block everyone and just follow free WMD for all the latest news and debates. That's all you need in this life. I think people will realize.
True that.
Yeah.
I think there's another side of society that is not just social media that's a downfall for people's mental health, but also I think people expect instant success in their life now as well. I'm sure that's quite a new thing. Like, I'm sure like our parents and grandparents just worked hard at their job, and now you always compare yourself to, people have made money through music, through social media, through showing their ass on Instagram.
That's it.
There's a lot of people making fast money very easily, and it's easy to compare yourself to the successes rather than the people who are failing, obviously.
Exactly. And you just look at people that they live their fake bubbles online. They've got the best life ever, but in reality, they hate everything about themselves. They hate their boyfriend. They hate their job. They hate their parents. And people see it for rose-tinted glass, thinking, why am I not like that? But yeah, it's all a myth, people. Yeah.
I hate my boyfriend
on that, I knew it. And on that bombshell by Rob, shall we go to the break?
Yeah, why not?
Cool.
Stay tuned
guys
for the second part of the lighter stories.
Okay. See you guys shortly after these break.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of 3WND. So we've done some research and found some pretty and random news stories this week. We've got a good selection, haven't we?
That's a good one this week, yeah.
As always.
As always. So we kick off, Rob, with an update. Any good social media polls this week?
Well, I've been running a few, but we need to really mention the one and only really important one, which is 83% of people would not stop masturbating if they have a bowl of Kellogg's cornflakes.
So what we're saying is it did not do the job what they intended for purchase.
No. Fail for Mr. Kellogg's.
So if you missed last week...
I want to meet the 17... I want to meet the 17% that, said it would and asked them questions.
So we just fill people in on the story. So apparently Kellogg's cornflakes were invented to stop people masturbating.
It was supposed to repress the urge because it's a dull breakfast cereal, which should, make their libido lower than they would be.
Did we ever find out what year it was? I don't know if that... No.
I can't say I checked that, but I just don't see in what form that would put you off wanting to have sex. If anything, it's giving you fuel to energize, right?
Oh, yeah. 17% of people would not masturbate after a bowl of cereal there.
So I suppose it works to a degree, just there'll still be a lot of people wanking off constantly afterwards. It's a beautiful sight. And that was the main poll that we needed the update for this week, correct?
Yes, I mean, we might as well end the podcast now because
that's what people tuned in for this week.
Yeah, we
that
peaked.
Was the teaser. But hold your horses, Rob. You know, we might find a good debate for us to make another poll for later. So stay tuned and we'll get some exciting stuff in, right?
Let's do it. What's
Okay,
next on the list then?
Next on the list, Jace, what's next story?
So our first funny random story from this week we found is the headline: teenagers are using face masks to dress up as old people to buy alcohol. So this cheeky and illegal trend is currently sweeping TikTok. I think it's coming out of the US. So literally teenager dressing up as super old people, and they're getting served alcohol, and they're like doing pre-videos where they're talking about it, even twerking and dancing. Then there's after videos of them and their alcohol, driving around getting pissed.
It's absolute genius.
So cheeky.
But like, you see, this puts the supermarket people in a problem now, because if they don't want to come near you to then ask you for your ID, to then check, you know, if it is you, it is a whole shitstorm essentially. Like, they just want people out of the store as quickly as possible, don't they now?
You say it's genius, but I haven't seen these videos, but are they like exposing their face? Like you say, there's a pre-video before they go in and do it. Are they?
I assume
just baiting themselves out.
It's gonna be a story thing. Like, it shows them before they go in, and then them dressed up, and then the outcome afterwards. So it's
do look old though.
Say again?
It's pretty crazy. They do look so old. So one 18-year-old is quoted as saying they put baby powder in their hair, and then, like, you know, tucks in a head scarf over them.
So extra.
With the face mask and the glasses. It's genius.
I did think a few weeks ago that this could have repercussions in terms of people doing this, as well as people stealing. And evidently, well, if you're wearing a mask the whole time you're in the shop, people that steal shit are going to be loving that, because they're never going to get caught. It's not like, oh, look out for the person wearing a mask. Like, half the fucking world is.
This story immediately made me think of Superbad, like McLovin and his fake ID, and I can't remember the character who did. What's his name? Jonah Hill's character. But
have fun, fucking Jules.
Yeah,
that woman.
That would be lovely.
That would be lovely. Yeah, I have
his
a
name
feeling...
was Seth, I think, in the film.
Yeah, it was. You're right. I have a feeling that woman's probably dead now. That was 13 years ago that came out. You know, just to dampen the spirits a little.
This is the funny section, Mark.
Sorry, but I think this is genius, and but it is heading for an absolute shit show at some point.
So there has been something good on TikTok finally.
Apparently, I mean, I can't say that opened that and
no one's got done on it. No one's got too overexcited and kind of like shown their face before or after.
Well, it's posted on their social media account, so I guess they could be found.
Yeah.
So I don't think they really care. I mean, once it's happened, it's happened. Maybe it is illegal though. So could they get arrested?
Drink the evidence?
Yeah. Essentially, you know, the people that are going to be more fucked is the people working in the stores.
Yeah.
Yeah. But would you want to like ID someone who literally looks like she's 70 or 80? I don't know.
Slippery slope, isn't it? Meanwhile, I'm like, I love it. I got fucking ID'd the other week, and my God.
Really?
It was so tight. I was just like, yes, I am under 25. And then the guy looked at my ID and he goes, "Oh, fucking hell, mate. Sorry. I thought you were like 23." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is the best." And then I thought,
but,
you know,
23 isn't under the age.
No, but you've got to look under 25 to get ID'd.
Sounds like the oldest child line in the book, by the way.
He clearly had a huge hard-on for me. I mean, she was like a supermodel, and my God, she was, yeah. No, it was a chubby guy, unfortunately.
Just your type.
Classic. Right, moving on from that.
Yeah, so changing pace. The next story is pretty shocking, to be honest. So the headline is, family found man declared dead, still alive after breaking into the morgue. So this is straight out of Sinaloa, Colombia, whatever that's called. So a man went to hospital, and then he apparently died or was declared dead with blood pressure issues, right?
Mhm.
But the family, his family did not believe he was dead. They didn't want to believe it. I don't think he was that bad. So his daughter broke into the hospital morgue, and they found her dad like alive, eyes wide open, in like a body bag in the morgue.
That is terrifying, isn't it?
How crazy is that?
It sounds like a huge conspiracy, to be honest. Like, do you reckon this guy knew something?
So the family demanded to see him, and the authorities said no. Like, they weren't allowed to see him, which is suspicious, right?
Is that a COVID regulation though? To not see the body.
Exactly, that is what they said. You're right. Coronavirus protocol.
The thing is, I find it confusing to picture someone being so convinced that their dad or whatever's died, or their husband's died, or not dead, sorry, that they would have to break in to check. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but I just think I'd be like too polite or too like like you'd be too shocked or too distraught to break into a building to check if your dad's dead. I don't know.
It does sound paranoid, doesn't it?
But they were right.
I mean, yeah.
That's the.
But to me, it seems like someone wanted him dead. It just seems a bit. Either that, or they got the most retarded medical workers in the world looking after them.
Well, like, what would have happened if the daughter didn't break in? Would he have just stayed there until he did die, or why was he not making lots of noise as well? Like, it's super confusing. I
think I read that he was by no means well, and probably wasn't in any state to scream for help.
Yeah.
But plus, aren't their morgue doors kept fucking freezing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
You hope so.
Yeah, and he's getting now treated somewhere else, isn't he? He's still alive, current. That's what I read anyway. So
maybe you should keep an eye out on that story to see how it develops, because maybe he's going to expose like the reason why they got it wrong. I don't know.
Maybe, but he's certainly still alive, which is the main thing. But that's got to be one of the worst ways to die, right? Like, if you had to die, what would you say the worst way to die is?
Bitten by a shark.
I think burnt alive is probably the worst.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Rob, what are you going for?
I was thinking being burnt alive, but there is some like pretty horrible like medieval torture devices that are up there.
But getting burnt alive. Okay, you two, you name me the worst things, and then we'll get a poll out on what is the worst way to die. How about we do that?
Okay.
Shark attack.
So can we get shark attack, burnt alive? Can we do? Can we only use two?
In this setup on Instagram, yes, but
that seems like a cop out.
It's a bit limiting.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go for them two. What's the worst way to die? Shark attack or burnt alive? I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this one.
I would say burnt alive, but I would say burnt alive. But I know, like, for example, some parts of, I think England as well, like in medieval times, they would stab you, and then they would like take your eyes out, then they would chop your dick off, and then they would tickle you, and then they'd throw vinegar on you.
Not tickle me.
And then they
I can handle my dick getting cut off, but not tickled.
Tickled.
They were fucked up in the head back then. Like, there was some. Well, yeah, we'll do some polls.
I mean, I'd say probably being. I'd say dying at sea would be worse than shark attack. I mean, it might include the same thing, but if Jason wants shark attack, we'll go with shark attack. But side note on tickling, Jason, did you ever watch a documentary on tickling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched a documentary on tickling. Yeah, that tiggled or whatever, right?
There was like a Tiggle Olympics, and then it was getting videoed, and the creator of these Olympics would then use the said footage to blackmail people into doing whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was just
just,
so. Rob, did you ever watch it, Rob?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we spoke about this on a podcast as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, Arnie's sex doll theme. It's cute.
What if you got paid like $2,000 to sit topless on a bed and let 4 naked men or nearly naked men tickle you with
Whoa!
Would you say yes or no?
They were not naked, Jason.
All right, they were topless. I think everyone was topless.
Yeah. Well, I don't think everyone was topless. I mean, this
think
might be your
everyone was
fantasy.
topless. That's what I see.
And they were feeding him grapes, and they were playing him piano music.
But no, like this guy was doing videos, right, of like being tickled by 4 other guys.
Yeah, they were getting pinned down and tickled.
Yeah, they were topless.
I don't know if I'd feel comfortable getting paid for that though, or even it happening to me.
Well, not much. I can't remember how much they got paid. I'm interested to find out.
It was thousands.
It was thousands, right?
Yeah. It ranged between like $1,000 and like 10 grand. So I can see why they done it. It's like a lot of them were college students.
I would prefer to be eaten by a shark or burnt to death than tickled for 10 minutes.
Oh, because I was going to ask what you're doing this weekend.
Hopefully being
Maybe when
alive.
Jason comes back to the UK, we'll surprise him with a tickle party.
Yes.
This sounds slightly homoerotic,
Yeah.
But,
should we move on?
Yes.
Rob, do the poll tomorrow on how the worst way to die. And
Okay.
So is it get burned, eaten by a shark, and get left in a morgue until you freeze to death? So yeah, anyone, if you're feeling ill in Colombia and you need to go to a hospital, just be wary of what's going on.
Or don't get medical help.
I think it's the second story we've had of someone being declared dead and not dead. I swear they both come from Colombia.
Suspicions. Either that or like the drugs there are just proper, lowers the heart rate enough.
Right, moving on. Okay. So the next story, what I'll say is, through this podcast and through the coronavirus, I'm learning that the sex industry is definitely the most creative dealing with coronavirus. So this article is Bolivian sex workers are using raincoats to stay safe. So Bolivian sex workers are keen to get back to work, as I'm sure all sex workers are, and they've come up with a kind of creative way to stay safe. So a worker, Antonietta, says she is using paper face masks, plastic visors, gloves, which sounds standard, and then a see-through raincoat as well. So yeah, pretty cool.
So not the sexiest outfit, really.
I'm looking at the photo now, and it's weird.
What's the raincoat going to do? Is it like to protect you from jizz splash?
I guess just any fluids, right? So are they just erotic dancers?
No, they're proper.
So they have to fuck them, but they're just wearing a raincoat.
Yeah.
So it's like essentially like just having sex with a giant condom.
Yeah, sure. This safety measure was recommended by the Organization of Night Workers of Bolivia. So they've clearly done some research. See-through raincoats, what keeps their workers safe.
Interesting.
So you got like a hazmat suit. Like you're probably sweating your ass off in this suit.
Oh,
but you're just exposing your private parts.
It's the opposite to sexy, right? It really is. It's a strange one.
It's just gonna smell, isn't it?
I recommend these men just go and have a bowl of cornflakes and just like.
I mean, if you recall one of our first podcasts about the nurses wearing see-through stuff, that seemed more erotic than the fucking sex workers wearing raincoats.
And I've been to Bolivia. Never saw a like red light district in La Paz or anything. But
no.
Do they have a red light district where you choose based on their looks, like you do in Amsterdam? Because then they're all wearing, like even if they are kind of like standing there half naked in bikinis, you're like, oh yeah, she looks good, and then you go and like say, oh yeah, how much is it? And then they go and put on a suit. And you just look like you're fucking E.T. from the last scenes when he's dying.
Yeah, they're on a bike and everything.
Yeah.
It takes desperate men, right?
What's the
to
point?
I don't. Yeah, you might as well just try and find some rank motherfucker and get with them. At least they'll take their clothes off. Doesn't make sense to me.
There's a lot of creative ways you can get off nowadays.
Exactly. On a side note, when is your flights to Bolivia this weekend, guys? I'm joking. Yeah, but there was a more sexy story in the news this week, right, Jace?
Yeah. So this is a crazy story. It's great. I love it. So the headline is woman quits job to earn 6 figures a month acting as a dog on OnlyFans. So Jenna Phillips, 21, from Texas. She worked as a optician for 2 years, and she had an OnlyFans page. So this is kind of a page where you can sell content, mainly to guys who would pick the kind of level and subscription and stuff. And she posted vanilla content. Before she introduced kinky videos, and she realized her followers surged. And now she earns a shit ton of money. So, so it's a really weird story. But she kind of met, look at a bit of background. She spoke to 2 guys, and they mentioned the pet play scene and how it's kind of starting to gain traction. She says she always felt like a dog growing up, not in a sexual way. She's always planned to be a puppy and roll around. So why not combine both? So she, I think, literally posts video of herself acting like a dog, and she's getting rich for it.
Is it sexual in any way?
I don't think so.
Yeah, she started doing more risque photo. Which they said like her in a bath and etc.
Yeah. I've only seen one. Sorry, I've only seen one picture. She's not even like in a fur outfit or anything, is she? She's acting like
no, a lot of them she's literally just got a soft toy in her mouth and she's on all fours like in clothes in the park.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, who realizes they're into that as a fetish?
No.
And that's just it's unfortunate fetish because like that's a very niche market to be in. Like,
she's
how many women are into that? Yeah, I mean, no, she's good. She's making a lot of money out of it. Like, if a guy was into that, they're pretty limited on what the fuck they can do with that, aren't they? Really?
I guess that's the way to go because I don't know what's it called? The website OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. It's quite a big website for aspiring models, essentially.
If it's like
risque photos.
Is it 18 plus? Is it like porn?
No, it's not. I don't think it was meant to be, but I think they found their niche in especially webcam girls, I think, and porn stars, where they can just get people to subscribe and to their content.
So there's probably 2 million girls fingering themselves on this website, but only one acting like a dog, and that's how she's smashing it out.
I mean, there's probably more, but maybe she's a more local one.
There is a community of this pet play, so it is a thing, but it's probably not too many. But yeah, can I mention how much more money she's earning than us? And all she does is act like a dog and posts the videos online.
Yeah, she's getting was it a 6-figure sum a month? Was that correct? So she's getting at least 100K a month to take shit photos. She does. They did say on there that she does private videos and photos of people and charges them £1,500 a pop.
Should we just do this ourselves? Why don't we do that? So that dogs.
If you
had women into it as well.
If you had to act like a sexy animal, what animals would you go for, guys?
Not a dolphin.
Can't be a dog. Dog's been taken now.
Yeah, and so is a dolphin. I don't trust that guy coming around.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to do that again.
Sexy animal. Well, I think I'm going to have to find my own niche market because I don't want to go for anything too common.
I mean, surely dog is the most common one. No?
Yeah.
Dog or cat?
Just a quick one. I've just read this. So she what she does in her content is she walks around in the lead and takes a bath while naked. So I think she's full on naked in the videos as well. So it's full on sexual.
What are they getting out of that? They can just surely normal porn's got to be better than just watching a naked girl acting like a dog? No?
I don't know. I mean, some porn gets pretty boring. I mean, you watch
Have you watched every porn made, Rob?
I haven't watched this girl yet, so...
Maybe quicksand porn is more your thing, right?
Does it even fall under the porn category, this woman?
It's, I guess,
so.
fetish.
Of course, she's naked on video, taking orders like a dog. So, yeah.
Now, people have this fetish. Do you reckon they fancy dogs? Slightly.
Fancy dogs. I think it's like more of a submissive thing that they
maybe,
like.
but why a dog?
I don't know. It's
So
easy.
she says here,
It's better than a turkey, isn't it? Like doing a turkey neck and gobbling. That'd be a bit weird.
I mean, that's probably a niche market.
Weirder. Unless I won.
But there's one quote here. She says that she gets a lot of requests for her channel, and some of them she has to say no to, such as people have asked her to film with a real dog in a sexual way.
Saw that. That's
and she says she quickly says no.
So there's got to be some people that have that fetish because
yeah. Well, that zoophile we spoke about before, like the guy and the dolphin, like fuck.
Yeah, hopefully no one's wrote a book about this one. But I'm still trying to think of what could be a sexy animal to impersonate.
Rabbit. It's quite an easy one.
Oh, rabbit, that's obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, come on.
Cadbury's caramel rabbit was pretty sexy.
She was a dirty, dirty hoe bag. She was them adverts from like the 90s, they were so sexual. But obviously, I didn't consider it sexual at the time, so I was like 7.
I know what we haven't.
But I'm gonna YouTube. Rob, here's a poll for you. Get a fucking photo of that woman and ask if is this rabbit a dirty hoe bag? I want to know what people think.
The Cadbury's caramel.
Yeah, I think she was a complete slut. She was flaunting it all around town with some chocolate.
That's how women used to get men back in the 90s.
They might still.
Just chocolate bars.
Yeah,
I know one animal that is the sexiest of them all that we haven't mentioned though.
Is it Jessica Rabbit?
No, it's a boiled goose.
Oh, of course.
You ever thought of a boiled goose?
I mean, if we did a poll on what's sexy at a boiled goose, we would not win. I can't think of anything less attractive than a boiled goose.
Well.
But I want them 2 polls up within the next 24 hours about...
We've got polls coming out of our ass right now. I think we need to just ask the question, what would you pay us free to do? And we should just roll with it.
God. Well, that's bordering prostitution.
Yeah, but if it's acting like a dog, I'll do that.
And she charges or can charge up for $1,200 for one video.
That'd be a bloody long video.
That's a good question, though. Would you act like a dog for money? Would you care who's watching you? Like, would you care if you had only men between 50 and 60 that tell you how much they bash off to you acting like a dog? Would you still do it to make money?
I mean, I'd say they're more fucked up than she is in that situation.
Yeah, she's just capitalizing right on their weirdness.
If she ran into them in the streets, they should be more embarrassed.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Gwyneth Paltrow vagina candle. It's like, who's worse off, her or the people buying it to smell her orgasms in their living room whilst eating their fish fingers on toast?
Hang on, did you say fish fingers on toast?
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Who eats fish fingers on toast?
Me.
I've never had anyone have that.
After I light my candle.
That's weird.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, just put on a bit of what's the sauce you put with fish? Tartar sauce.
Oh, tartar sauce. Listen to a bit of real big fish and
the fishiest day possible.
I think you having fish fingers on toast is like, the weirdest thing I've heard in this second half today.
It's not that weird.
I want another poll, Rob.
Kind of like,
Does anybody eat fish fingers on toast?
It's less weird than a chip butty.
It's definitely not.
no.
Fish finger sandwich, fine. Fish finger on toast, weird.
But it's a toasted sandwich, right? It's 2 bits of bread toasted, made into a toasted sandwich.
Okay, that's not quite what fish fingers on toast, I would say is. I'd say fish fingers on toast is literally bread and fish fingers on top of it.
Well, we're just minusing 1 piece of bread here, so...
Yeah, but that makes it a sandwich, and it's not so weird.
This is just a construct in your mind that needs to be...
You're crazy, Rob. You're crazy.
Lock me up. Throw away the key.
Exactly. Cool. All right. And we have one more story today, correct?
Yeah, we do. So it comes from the UK and it's a little bit Corona related, but it's all about a pub taking social distancing responsibly and trying to stick to it. So the headline is, English pub owner installs an electric fence at his bar. So he literally makes his bar electric for anyone that goes towards it. How crazy is that?
I mean, how shocking is that going to be? Like it can't, I'm guessing it's not going to be to the level of other places where they would literally get electrocuted to an extent where they will pass out.
Have you guys been electrocuted by one of those fences? Because I did.
No, I stick to society's rules, Rob. You know.
No, I don't think I have.
I tried to stroke a cow or something in Slovenia, and then it felt like someone hit me. It felt like someone hit me in the back. It was like a big thud, running through.
Now, can I ask the question? Yeah. Did you have to climb a fence, or was the cow electrified?
No. The cow was in a field, and there was a fence that was on, and I just leaned over to stroke it. As you do.
That makes more sense. To me, you went to stroke a cow, and the cow electrocuted you.
I don't know how that would even happen, but
I mean, I was more intrigued with that than anything. Yeah, but and then going back to the story, I think it's a clever idea, but surely there's a lawsuit in there somewhere.
Yeah, I did read up on this, but go ahead, Jason.
Oh, no, yeah, go ahead, Rob. What did you read?
The guy stated that it will mostly be off, but it can be turned on. I don't know if that's what you were going to say.
Yeah, exactly. So he says it's not really on, it's just there. So it's more of a visual.
Do you guys think it's just a gimmick to get his pub's name out there and to get people to come into the pub to see the fence and buy more beers and disease more people and kill the earth?
Clever marketing.
But surely, if it was on and you have a pacemaker or something, you're just asking for a lawsuit in that type of situation. Old person.
I'm shocked if it would be legally allowed, for sure.
Yeah. Also, how does this all work for old people? Obviously, they're bad with technology. So, obviously, they all want people to use apps now. Some of them haven't even got smartphones. What the fuck are they supposed to do?
They're going to die.
They're going to get tired.
That could be very prejudiced against little people as well. You have to get close to the bar to pick up your pint.
No, they don't want you going to there at all, do they? They want you to stay at your seat and do table service.
I thought you had to reach over.
Most bars have gone. They've gone to apps now, so they want you to order via the app, and then.
Really?
Yeah, most bars, loads of bars now, even the Green King ones, all them down here, all like that now.
It's
crazy. But it's clever, it's lazy, but it saves lives, guys, and that's what we're here for. In the end of the day,
exactly.
And that's important.
So if anyone is near the Star Inn in St. Just, Cornwall, and you want to go and take this electric bar, please do.
Please do send us some photos, send us some videos, let us know how your experience is. And right, guys, before we sign off, where can people get hold of us to listen to the podcast?
Well,
they can. You go, Rob.
Well, you do it, Jason. You always do it.
They're dying to know, guys. They need to know where to go.
Suspense.
So you can You can find us online on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at the word three underscore WMD. 3, the word underscore WMD.
Like, subscribe, send us photos, send us videos, ask us questions, and tell your friends. And we'll be back next week with another amazing episode. Cheers, guys. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll catch you guys next week.
You too.
Ciao, ciao. See you next week.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.